So Fats, right? My homie Fats.
You talking about another situation?
You know, I'm talking about the same situation.
The situation that's happened is when Black Sam bust in the air.
No, he did bust in the air, but Big U tried to fire on Fats.
Fats put him on his pockets.
And then Fats put him on his pockets.
I got a call on that one.
When they got upset and he made the song, I don't rap.
That song never came out.
It did come out.
It did come out?
It did come out. It wasn't never pushed as a song, but it came out. And I mean, I don't rap, I scrap. He's supposed to make a diss song about me. Well, I ain't no rapper, I'm a scrapper.
Nip had an altercation with him in the studio or whatever. Big U was like, is this song about me? He was like, yeah, it's about you, cuz. So Big U threw the water bottle at him, right?
Show your face. Show your face, please, with sugar on top.
Alright y'all, now with the recent RICO indictment that led to Big U's arrest, along with other Rolling 60s Crip gang members, it seemed like it opened a new can of worms for Big U. And by that, I mean now people are starting to pay more attention to videos, social media posts, and other gestures by Big U that look suspect and calling him out on it now that they know what they know thanks to the indictment that's been handed down. One of the biggest side eyes they've been getting recently is due to the video of him going live with a few of his friends right after news got out that Nipsey passed away. I think the video basically speaks for itself. But then, people have also pointed out that Eric Holder, who was the suspect accused of taking Nip's life, actually was cool with Big U, and they even found videos of Big U and Eric Holder from back in the day fighting with security. Y'all know when Dr. Umar says, "You don't think that's suspicious?" Well, yeah. Now, from day one, it's always been speculation that Big U and Nipsey Hussle had internal conflict, and when it came out that Nipsey passed away, rumors started flying immediately that Big U possibly had involvement. However, it couldn't be proven, so that's probably the only thing that's been saving Big U throughout the years, but that's until he will fall out with another friend of his by the name of Loose Cannon. Now, Loose Cannon have made it very clear during the No Jumper interview with Adam 22 and Whack 100 that Big U definitely may have had involvement in Nipsey's demise because he knew Nipsey was dead before anybody else, and aside from the people that was there, Big U had a lot of information. On top of all that, Nipsey's brother Black Sam did an interview, and let's just say in so many words, he explained certain things just without saying certain names, and you had to put two and two together basically to understand who he was talking about. On the flip side of that, we're going to get into this video explaining how Big U may have also had a hand in one of Nipsey's closest friends by the name of Fats, who was unalive right before Nipsey was. Now, I always tell y'all social media is going to be the downfall for a lot of these guys due to them seeking attention by posting on social media whenever something happens. Time after time, we see how many guys go down, whether it's because of music lyrics, saying too much in interviews, or doing too much on IG Live, but somehow these guys still entertain the circus. Anyway, we're going to get into the video. Shout out to Toxic Media. I'm going to leave a link to the original video pinned in the comments so you guys could check out more of their content and support their platform if you like what you see. Now, before we get into the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
R.I.P. Fats on 6-0. Don't tell nobody about around and tell. On 6-0, don't tell Cowboy about the Fats because he'll around and tell.
R.I.P. both the Fats, Nipsey Hussle's best friend.
Krusty, that was my celly in Lancaster, man. Me and him was porters, man. Lancaster building 2.
Yeah. You know what we went through, you know?
We got the old footage, man. Be on there, man. Y'all gonna see Fats with big t-shirts, you know? This didn't change, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We growing. Yeah. Still going, man. It's a marathon, man, you know? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These two right here, man, good brothers. Nip, you know, foundation.
Yeah.
This word.
To the outside world, Fats' death is a mystery, but allegedly the hood knows. And this is how the story goes. But before we begin, please like the video. But on this situation, Big U claimed his innocence.
They say, y'all, you know, it's another new one too. I got into it with Fats. Let me give y'all the information on that. I ain't never got into it with Fats. Fats is my little homeboy. Ever in my life, me and Fats ever got into it with nobody. Never, ever, ever. ever. So you gotta figure that one out anyway. So all that them telling y'all stupid for listening to any of that. But y'all been listening and responding to this shit been said for the last, this 6-7 years. Why you gonna stop? No, longer than that. Longer than that. Y'all was accusing me that I ain't even do. And what's funny, I wasn't even in town. So figure that one out.
Oh. See that face? Let me tell you, I always tell y'all body language. Right? And these guys, they like to get on social media. They like to do this exact thing here. When something happens, they get online and then they try to make their innocence known. But what they're doing is they're making it worse because you can always detect energy. Look at his face. Figure that one out. Trying to be funny. And they always try to use, let me tell you, when you say, oh, I was out of town and I wasn't there, that's the easiest giveaway. Because you got to remember, that's an old alibi that they used to use. It don't work no more. Because you could be out of town and call a hit on anybody while you in Mexico somewhere. Just because you wasn't there don't mean nothing. I think we seen that with the whole Dirk situation. So just his face and figure that one out with his eyes. I don't know, but body language never lie. And yeah, he get on something. I don't know.
Well, we gonna figure it out, Big U. You can't bully us through the internet. That's that. If you figure it out, you dead look. Well, since the FBI is on your ass, we gonna figure it out. And we only getting the story from real 6-0s. Shout out to Lil Rozay. Go subscribe to him right now. But this is how the story goes. When Nipsey Hussle first got out of his contract with Big U wasn't happy. They tried everything in their power to sabotage Nipsey Hussle's career. First, by going to the studio and ripping out all the equipment.
Right. Then when I decided when my son come home from college, he want to do music. Right. So I'm like, okay, when we get the equipment, we're going to put it somewhere where we can all get to it.
So this journey, yes, there's room.
See, as you see right there, just pay attention. And the more he does interviews like that, it just explains why him and Nipsey was falling out with each other. Right? Because at one point it was low key. Nobody really knew that Big U and Nipsey had too much problems. But the more he did things like that, it kind of let us know what was going on and why it was tension between them when we all thought that it was cool. But just think about what he just said. It's funny how coincidentally, once his son come and want to do music, it's towards when Nipsey has just gotten out of his contract or was getting out of his contract. So now you want to take the equipment and put it somewhere. That's like bullying, right? If I know that the equipment is right here, it's in the studio. We always had this in the studio for years. And then suddenly your son come home and now you want to put it wherever you want to and think it's just going to happen like that. That's bullying.
Nipsey and Big U got into a fight. I was overseas when I heard about that.
When I left the music industry, me and Nipsey had a fallout. He had my equipment, and I wanted to use my equipment. He got mad because I got my equipment back. So then that's when our...
You hear what he said? He got mad because I got my equipment back. It went from, oh, I wanted to get my equipment. He was mad because I wanted to, I got it back. And I think that's where the fight happened. But we're going to get more. Remember this fight, too, because we're going to talk about that after.
Conflict started. I ended up getting the equipment back and said, I'm going to move it right here at my shop on 43rd and Crenshaw. And then everybody can get there all the time. Nip, you can get to it when you want to. So,
but that didn't stop Nipsey, though. He was the hardest working man in the hood. Recorded enough songs for the next few mixtapes. And some of the recorded songs were hits with the Compton Blood named YG. They decided to shoot a music video for one of the songs. First in Compton.
Video shoot. Hey, we got Neighborhood Nip in the treetop. Hey, for all that bullshit, man, with Nip, ask me if Nip a real nigga, where he at? See right here, man. We 400 block sprucing. Every Nip got, I got. Treetop.
And during the shoot, Nipsey.
See, that's the real love that Nipsey had. And you also got to remember, see, this, if y'all pay attention, right? In Big U's paperwork, it says that LA County was funding one of his organizations. You know, the I call them shells. But it was funding one of his companies and his organizations about giving back. But that's kind of weird because they know what he was doing now that it came out, that he was doing illegal things with it. So that's another thing. I wonder if LA County is going to be held responsible for funding pretty much an illegal organization. But if y'all remember, before Nipsey passed away, he was trying to branch the Crips and the Bloods. I forgot whatever organization he was trying to put together, and he was supposed to get funded by the LA County. How ironic is it that when he passed away, now Big U and his companies and organizations getting that same funding?
Nipsey got a call. The back door was ordered on Nipsey Hussle by Big U, but instead of filling the order, Nipsey had so much love, they gave him the heads up. Nipsey's team didn't arrive yet. Called the team, tell him turn around, head to the Marathon store. Then YG called, where you at? We gotta finish the shoot. This song's a hit, guaranteed. That's when Nipsey told him, you know what? Come down to the hood. Let's shoot it down here instead. They can't backdoor me down here. And YG went on his way.
Getting it in, huh?
Oh. See? Now, so once again, we from the outside looking in. But clearly it was already tension, and they already know that Big U already tried an attempt on Nipsey's life before. Try to get him backdoor while he was, and you know what's crazy? Here's the funny thing, right? Because if he would have got him quote unquote backdoored, it would have came from a Blood, nonetheless. So it would have made it seem like it's a Blood versus Crip thing, when in all reality, it's not. It was a hit. Just think about how much of that goes on where we're bamboozled to believe one thing when it was really the other. It happens all the time.
Video shoot. Just read up the mixtape. Yeah, on the swag.
Hey, get my shit though.
I know what it is.
Man, I know what it is.
Well, during the shoot, Big U and company came through, kicking down cameras, trying their best to stop it. After the shoot, while everybody was waiting for Nip to go back to his grandma's house, Big U was at the studio. Everyone else might have been intimidated by Big U, but not Nipsey. He went to the studio and called Big U out, like, what's up, why you hating? Big U started complaining, like, you bringing the red right to the hood. And I heard you made a diss song about me, Nip. Nipsey told him straight up, yeah, it is about you.
That's when they got upset, and he made the song. I don't rap.
That song never came out.
It did come out.
It did come out?
It did come out.
Oh.
It wasn't never pushed as a song, but it came out, and I mean, I don't rap, I scrap. And this is my neighborhood,
Listen to what he just said. So a diss song was made, and he said, I don't rap, I scrap. Now, pay attention to the other kid that made a diss song against Big U and what happened to him, and how allegedly Big U is being accused of that. Now, it's funny how shortly after that song was put out by Nips, guess what happened to him? We're going to get more into that in a few. That's just
You know what I'm saying? This is my land. This is my piece of rock. I fought for the and gave this up, and I'm still here every single day. It ain't like that. That's He's supposed to make a diss song about me. Well, I ain't no rapper. I'm a scrapper.
Then Big U threw a water bottle at Nipsey Hussle's face. Nipsey wasn't having it. Big homie, let's go outside. You know what time it is. Let's run this lap.
Big U went out there like he was about to mail in the victory. He just knew he had that one. Dead homies. Bro, went out there stretching on that old MMA, mixed martial arts stuff. But that it only work in the mirror.
Yo, you know what's funny now that you say that? That mixed my I never seen somebody actually do it in a fight and be successful with it. I ain't gonna lie. We only see that in the movies, right? You can do all that taekwondo and whatever, but when it comes to a real fight, it do not work, Bucko. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm lying, I'm flying. Ask anybody, ask the front hoods. Man, Nip maxed this dude out. Walked him up out of there until Bear Claw say, bro, you don't need to be fighting this young dude. Tiny Draws, get out there. Nip gave him what he wanted also.
Yeah, so basically let's get this straight. So Nip had an altercation with him in the studio or whatever. Big U was like, is this song about me? He was like, yeah, it's about you, cuz. So Big U threw the water bottle at him, right? So he was like, we're gonna have to go downstairs and get down, right? So they in the middle of the street, and Nip kept just bouncing around. You get what I'm saying? Not trying to get hit or whatever, trying to fire him. So he was like, all right, cuz I'm gonna have like my little homies come because I don't have to win for this,
Big
right?
U started harassing the marathon store until the...
Now also, keep that in mind, right? This fight. Keep this fight in mind because we're going to talk about that later as well. But I guess Big U thought it was going to be a cakewalk because he bigger than Nipsey. But Nipsey was kind of smart. As long as I don't let him grab me, we good. But if he grab me, I might be done.
Infamous melee.
So, we end up having to come talk about that. Pull up the homies, and Nip admit his wrong, but still there's some consequences to your wrong. I came to pick him up that morning so he can get his discipline. And his brother got in the way. Talking about my brother not going nowhere.
Let me tell you, shout out to Black Sam, because Black Sam ain't stupid, right? I don't think he's a part of that gang stuff. So maybe Nipsey was going to go with Big U because he's like, you know, I'm a part of this organization. They probably going to take me to get quote unquote disciplined. I might have to go fight. Whatever the case may be. I forgot what they call it. The get 3 minutes, whatever that stuff is, when the L7, whatever that is. Right? But Black Sam in his head, he like, nah. I'm not letting my little brother go because he might not make it back. See what I'm saying? Nipsey probably just thought he was just going to get a little fade, run a fade with a couple dudes or whatever. Nah, Black Sam wasn't stupid. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for Black Sam, Nipsey's life probably would have been over that day. Yeah, it probably would, because he said, yo, I came to pick him up, to discipline him. Where you was going to take him? That probably would have been the last time Black Sam seen Nipsey alive again. That's a fact. So thank God he didn't go. But also, y'all pay attention that all these things are leading up to Nipsey losing his life. Right? He made the diss song. He claimed, oh, I don't rap, I scrap. All right, well, he tried to scrap with him and lost that too. So what's the next thing to do? Right? Allegedly.
If I was his brother, I'd have did the same thing. Like, you're not going nowhere with T. I would have did the same. But I mean, you're not from Sixties though. And you're not from the hood, so you know, you can't really speak on hood business.
Nah.
And
so the next day, TD and them came and he was just doing some bull or whatever like that. So they try to come. Big U tell Nip, get in the car. You gonna go on Bryanhurst and you gonna get in, right? Black Sam like, you ain't taking my brother nowhere. You get what I'm saying? And he tried to pull him out the car. When he tried to pull him out the car or whatever like that, Nip looked over and he was like, listen, long as you don't, me, we good. So he was like, nah. So Fats, right? My homie Fats.
You talking about another situation?
You know, I'm talking about the same situation.
The situation this happened when Black Sam bust in the air.
No, he did bust in the air, but Big U tried to fire on Fats.
Fats put him on his pockets.
And then Fats put him on his pockets.
I got a call on that one.
Now pay attention. You know, listen, I know I always say take what Wax say with a grain of salt, but this is loose cannon. Loose Cannon was very, very good friends with Big U at a point in time before they flipped on him. He know what he's talking about. This is why this is dangerous, getting on these social media platforms, because you're talking about street business that's real. And as you can see, this is why he's in the position that he's in. But this is also more of a reason why Big U name is coming up in these guys' demises, because you have reason to, you have motive. He said Fats, who is close to Nip, pretty much socked him and put him on his pockets. I'm talking like I'm from Cali. You know what I mean? Punched him in his face, had him on the floor.
He put him on his pockets, right? So, you know, Fats is like 5'4".
Nip seen the play and teed off on him. All right, well, let's do it like football. Go. Teed off on that man, sidewinding. He broke out into an all-world melee. He walking this dude down. Dudes jump in, trying to pack them out. But here come Pops to the rescue with that bat. Whacka, 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 whacka. Ooh-wee knots all across Big U head. But Big U team was having the momentum until Fast rode in hot. Jumped out, slammed Big U
That's
against
when Black
the wall.
Sam came out, pulled out the pistol, busted in the air trying to stop it. Somehow police arrived 30 seconds later.
How many fights I done had in this parking lot, I can't count, man. How many fights Fats had, my brother had, we can't count. How many, incidents with the police right here. Let me show you something. So, if you look where Ant's standing right there, that's where my brother was standing, and if you look where, let me show you, stand about right here. This is where the police was busting from. And police is trained shooters. Police don't miss. And he busting like this in a full clip. And he didn't hit my brother at all.
Somehow Big U went in and went out. I guess the grid program is like a fast pass at Disneyland. Everything expedited.
That's what he feed me. Come to find out, Black Sam was off parole. Black Sam indeed had to bail out. Big U was the one that they let out. No strings attached. He turned into grid worker when all this hit the fan. He's got pulled over down the street.
The next night, they called a meeting.
Now, for y'all that don't know the context behind that Whack 100 interview, what they were saying is Big U may have been working with them people, right? That's been a rumor for a long time. A lot of people were saying this is why Big U was able to kind of get away from certain charges and say that he's the big homie and have people check in and he's Crip. He was allowed to do that because he had certain ties to certain things. Let's just say that. And so that's what Whack 100 is pretty much saying. When they all got locked up, Black Sam had to bail out. Everybody else had to go through a process. However, Big U himself was let out. All right.
The feds called Big U out for the fade. Big U wanted no parts of it. And Big U, he can't live down embarrassment. He got to get you one way or another. What's the plan? Well, both the feds, he was running a weed shop. And Big U was extorting the weed shops. He couldn't extort fats though, so he tried every way possible. First, by attacking the weed shops.
I already called her and told her. She fine? World Star tomorrow. Look at Jeremiah.
Find them niggas by tomorrow. Look good. I don't know. Trap right there.
He left the bitch. He's so scary. Things like that. Get your mind. All this. Damn, bro. Get the vapors too,
After he got to Fats by offering weed at a super discounted price. After a few deals, Fats got comfortable.
Until this one mysterious day, he get a call. I got some more flight, bro. Come outside. Man, they had security, so both the Fats in there in flip-flops and shorts, marathon shirt. He comfy, like chestnuts roasting over an open fire. He come outside in flip-flops, looking both ways, looking for this dude. Like, where he at? He said he right here on the corner of West Boulevard and 59th. Dude's still on the phone with him. Oh, you gotta walk to the corner. I'm right here on the corner. I parked over here. Dead homies. By the time he made it to that corner, he was ambushed. And that dude was the last one seen rolling off. Allegedly. Asked the trenches though. Man, the whole city was crying.
R.I.P. Fats, man. R.I.P. Nipsey. Man, I don't think Nipsey was the same after this. And I really believe Nipsey only started rocking with Big U again because he was tired of dealing with the BS. Big U had too much power in the hood. But again, this is...
Damn, so you mean to tell me after they went through all that, Nipsey and them still went back and... Nah, I wouldn't have did it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because I will always feel like I'm going to be backdoored some way, somehow. We went through too much. I done whooped on you. I done made a diss song about you. My brother done shot in the air. It would have been too much for me to trust you, especially somebody like Big U, right? He's the type of dude, if you take his pride, his ego, it's over. Because that's pretty much all he has. He's the big guy. He's the guy. So if you take that from him and you embarrass him, somehow, some way, he has to get back.
This is all alleged, but what's not alleged is I got proof of Cowboy backdooring Nipsey Hussle after his death. Give me 500 likes and I'll drop it ASAP.
Alright, I don't know about that, but the reason why I covered this story is because if y'all remember, if y'all familiar with us doing videos when Nipsey passed away, we told y'all something wasn't right. You could go back to all the videos we did. A lot of people saying, oh, conspiracy theory, cool. But now that everything is starting to come out, look. Now I always tell y'all the only difference between the truth and a quote unquote conspiracy theory is time. And it's been proven every single time. Now, let me say this. I'm not pointing no fingers because I don't know who did what and or what's going on. We don't know 100% if Big U did have a hand in Nipsey or Fats unaliving yet, right? But as I always tell y'all, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't believe in coincidences, but for y'all that do, let's point out a huge coincidence right here. Big U signed Nipsey Hussle to a 10-year contract in 2009, right? They started having trouble towards the end of that contract, which was like 2018-ish, early 2019-ish. Now, is it a coincidence that they started beefing right before Nipsey's contract was ending? And maybe it's because Big U knew that Nipsey wasn't going to resign because at the time Nipsey passed away, he was more into ownership, being independent, and then y'all hear about all the stuff that they was going through in the first place. So, of course, he ain't signing under this man once again. So what's the odds that Nip is signed to a 10-year contract in 2009, and once the contract is about to be done in 2019, suddenly he's unalived that same year when his contract is up? And we know how these labels are as soon as their top money earners want to leave. It seemed like every time a rapper wisen up to leave their label, something happened to them. Tupac, Biggie, Eazy-E, and way more. But the most recent we've seen was Drake. Right? Drake had a clean slate since he came in the game in 2008 or 2009. Now, one smut on his name and he's been signed to a label his whole career. Coincidentally, as soon as he becomes an independent artist and not signed anymore, we start seeing the whole industry against him and we hear that he's a quote unquote PDF file. Right? Now, here's another coincidence. The kid that Big U was accused of unaliving is said to have made a diss song about Big U as well. And allegedly, Big U didn't like it, and lo and behold, the kid ended up unalived after. If y'all remember, Loose Cannon and Whack 100 did an interview where they say Nipsey and Big U got into a little fight where Black Sam had to pull out a firearm or whatever. Nipsey made a subliminal diss song then, and then suddenly he's also unalive shortly after. So keep in mind, these are all just coincidences and these are all just alleged, but he got some explaining to do some way, somehow. And you want to know what's crazy? Just hearing all this, a lot of us from the outside looking in didn't know that Big U and Nipsey was going through all this, right? I mean, we heard that they had some tension, but we didn't know it was this intense. And not only that, but this just goes to show that Nipsey was going through a lot silently before he passed away. We may have not known it, but he was going through a lot with his hoods and the gang he represented all before he passed away. So we thought, everything was all peaches and cream, but come to find out, He was going through a lot, but you just didn't know because he didn't show it. I don't know, man. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about all this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.